17th November 2022. Morning Murli. Shanti. BapDada. Madhuban. Sweet children, devotees cannot feel as much happiness when they have, say, Bhagavan or Ishwar as you feel when you say Baba. Question: what desires do worldly children have due to greed which you children cannot have? Answer: worldly children who are greedy think when their father will die so that they can become the masters of his property. You children can never have such thoughts about the unlimited father because the father is bodiless. Here you receive the imperishable inheritance from the eternal Father. So, look at your face and the mirror of your heart. Shanti, Shanti. When it's said twice, first it is Baba saying it, and the second time is the Dada saying it. One is called a soul, and the other is called the Supreme Soul. That is the one who resides in the Supreme Abode. That is why he is called the Supreme Soul, means Paramatma. What is the relationship between souls and the Supreme Soul? The Father is one, whereas the children are innumerable. When human beings call out in English, they say, "Oh God, the Father." Therefore, he is the Father. By simply saying Paramatma, Prabhu or Ishwar, there isn't as much pleasure. By saying Father, you receive happiness. The Father from beyond is the one who gives you happiness, and that is why he is remembered so much on the path of devotion. God the Father means he is our Father. It is said, we are all brothers. It is also called a brotherhood. When the people of Bharat say that they are all brothers, their attention is not drawn to souls. It is drawn to body consciousness. They don't understand that they are souls who are brothers. The Father of all of us is one. If God were omnipresent, you wouldn't say that you are brothers. It is only when you consider yourselves to be souls that you say you are brothers. Your children are now sitting personally in front of the Father, and he is teaching you. Your souls say, we have now found the Father. You have found the Father, which means that you have found everything. You receive the inheritance from the Father. As soon as a son is born, it is understood that an heir is born. As soon as the child says Baba, it proves that he is an heir. Generally, daughters say Ma, Ma. They have more love for their mother. A son would say Ba, Ba. A son would have more love for his father. An inheritance cannot be received from the mother. An inheritance is received from the mother. Here, all of you souls are brothers. All of you are claiming your inheritance from the Father. The Father's Srimad is, each one of you has to consider yourselves to be a child of the Father and content to give everyone the Father's introduction and also explain the secrets of the world cycle. Only from the Father do you receive the inheritance of heaven. The unlimited Father says, you were residents of heaven, so how did you become residents of hell? How did you go around the cycle of 84 births? These are matters of detail. However, the Father has given you recognition of himself, and you will definitely receive the inheritance of the golden age from the Father. Acha, who received it? There is the picture of Lakshmi and Narayan. They received the Father's inheritance. So, where did it go? This is a matter of the cycle. You are now receiving the inheritance of the golden age, and you will then definitely have to take rebirth and take 84 births. You now have the cycle of 84 births in your intellects, number-wise according to the efforts you make, and you also have the faith that this is your last birth. You have been around the cycle of 84 births and completed it. Now when you go back, everyone else will follow you back. Your children have already claimed your inheritance from the Father. You have already learned Raj Yoga. Therefore, you know that you will come back to rule in the new world. At that time, none of those religions, etc., will exist there. Everyone will have gone back. Then, we who belong to Buddhism have to come first. We belong to the Shudra clan and we now belong to the Brahmin clan. We will then belong to the Sun and Moon dynasty clans. We are claiming our inheritance of the Brahmin, Sun and Moon dynasty clans. All three clans from the one father. No one comes in the golden and silver ages to establish a religion. There is just the one religion of Bharat at that time. Then those of Islam and the Buddhist come later. Bharat is very ancient land. At first there are just the deities. They have now been converted to other religions. There are so many different languages. The Europeans have different languages. Americans have their own language. And the French have their own language. Even though all of them are Christians, similarly, look at the Chinese. They all belong to the one Buddhist religion, but the language of the Chinese is different from that of the Japanese. They all belong to the Buddhist religion, but when growths take place, they all become separate. They even have enmity for each other. Bharat has no enemies. It is those of other religions who come and fight here. They create conflict amongst the people of Bharat and make them fight. Otherwise, war never took place between the people of Bharat. It was others who made them fight because of greed. This too is a play. The people of Bharat have forgotten that they were the masters of the world and that the Father had given them the kingdom. In the golden age, you don't have any knowledge of how you claim your kingdom. You now know how you are claiming that kingdom. This Father sits here and explains to you. It is very easy, but people's intellects are locked in such a way that they don't even know who gave Lakshmi and Narayan their kingdom or when. They don't even know how many children they had. In the golden age, it was the kingdom of Lakshmi and Narayan. How long is the duration of the golden age? They say that it is hundreds of thousands of years old. Then, how many dynasties were there in those hundreds of thousands of years? How much expansion took place? How many emperors and empresses would there have been? In hundreds of thousands of years, there would have been countless rulers. 100,000 years of the golden age and then hundreds of thousands of years of the silver age. And they say that even the iron age has to last for another 40,000 years. No one's intellect works on these things. They have given them all such a long duration. You should know the creator, director, and the duration, etc. However, no one knows this. It is said that 3000 years before Christ, Bharat became heaven and that it used to be a kingdom of gods and goddesses. How many years did it last and how did it continue? They don't know any of this. If Radhe and Krishna were the prince and princesses of the golden age, they must have received their status from someone. If Krishna narrated the Gita, then when did he do that? Only the Father explains all of those things. At school, you are forced out alpha and beta. Then you gradually pass higher examinations. So there is so much difference between the study of alpha and beta and the studies later on. It is the same here. What is explained to you now is even easier than that which has explained to you earlier. As you progress further, even easier things will be explained to you. When a new person comes, he is first asked to feel in a form and everything is explained to him. He is asked, what is your relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? He is definitely the Father of all. Only those who are to understand these things will understand them. It is only when they have the faith in their bones that they can claim their inheritance from the unlimited Father. The Father creates heaven. Therefore, He will definitely give you the inheritance of heaven. These things will sit in the entrance of those who had faith in the previous cycle. You can see how some children are unable to wake up in the morning. They have been making effort for 10 to 15 years and in spite of that, they are unable to wake up on time. At least wake up at 3 or 4 a.m. Even devotees wake up early and sit in meditation. They chant something in the name of Hanuman or Shiv, but there is no benefit in that. Although some develop a good character by doing that, they cannot receive liberation or liberation in life through that. It is their stage of descent. Lakshmi and Narayan, who used to rule in the golden age, then continue to come down in their second and third births, etc. It continued to be their stage of descent. Then, when half the cycle was over, they went on to the path of seeing and the path of devotion began. So many temples were built. Even now, there are so many temples. Some have even been demolished. There are the images of their going on to the path of seeing. They are wearing the costume of deities. In fact, their dress was different and it continued to change later. Some would have one type of turban and others would have another type. Some would have one type of crown and others another type. The way the crowns were worn was also different. The styles of dress of the San dynasty kings was their own. That is the turban and so. Baba has had regions. Dwarkadish, monks and emperor wore his turban at an angle. The whole drama that takes place will repeat in the same way from the beginning to the end. You will go onto the path of seeing and there will be differences of opinion between everyone. The customs and systems will be different. Those of the Sun dynasty will be different from those of the Moon dynasty. This play is predestined and has to repeat. You know that you are the ones who are to receive liberation and salvation from the unlimited Father once again. The old world has to be destroyed. The unlimited Father is teaching you Raj Yoga. The world doesn't know that He is teaching us Raj Yoga. You children know this very well and you also love the Father. Not everyone can have the same love. Even on the path of ignorance, not everyone has the same love. Out of greed, some say, let my father die so that I can receive his property. Here, Shivbaba doesn't have a body. Baba is imperishable. He has taken this body on loan. You know that you have taken the full 84 births. Baba doesn't take rebirth. When he comes, he enters this body. Otherwise, should he enter the body of Lakshmi or Narayan? However, they are masters of the pure world. This is an impure world and an impure body because it has been created out of poison. Baba tells you in exactly the same way as he did in the previous cycle. I enter an ordinary body. I definitely need an experienced child. Good actors receive good prizes. This chant of Baba's has also been remembered. It is said that establishment takes place through Brahma. They have portrayed Brahma as old. The forms of Prajapita Brahma, Vishnu and Shankar are all different. The form of Brahma is absolutely accurate. The father has named this one Prajapita Brahma. He has taken the full 84 births. You would say that all of you have also taken the full 84 births. This is why you have come and made the Father first. Our kingdom is being established once again. You also have to explain. You say, Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, O God. Therefore, the Father must surely be considered to be God. However, people are unable to understand that the Father of all souls is the incorporeal one. It is because he is the Father that one remembers him on the path of devotion. It is because souls received happiness that they remember him in times of sorrow. You too have been remembering the Father for half a cycle. The Somnath temple is built at the beginning, means of devotion. Therefore, they would definitely remember the Father. You know that. That is the Father's temple. The Father himself gave you the inheritance. Therefore, they first of all built a temple to the Father. You have now become the Father's heir. The Father is the creator of the world. Only from him do you receive the inheritance. What did all the rest do? Why do we worship them? They take 84 births. However, devotion also has to become adulterated. All the paraphernalia of devotion is required for half the cycle. There is no need for that paraphernalia in the golden and silver ages. All of this has to be imbibed by your intellects. In fact, there is no need to write anything down. If your intellect is solvent, you are able to imbibe very quickly. However, you take notes in order to relate it to others. There is also no need to keep books, etc. Who would study our books later on? The scriptures of others continue after them. There are people who read them. You don't have to study any of that. You will have received your reward. There is nothing of any of the scriptures for half a cycle. Thus knowledge disappears. All the scriptures are destroyed. First of all, explain to everyone that you have two fathers. You have your physical fathers and they too remember that father. It is remembered that everyone remembers God in times of sorrow. This applies to Bharat. The Father only comes in Bharat. There is the birthday of Shiv. You would also say that you are celebrating such and such a birthday of your father. Since there are Brahma Kumaris and Kumaris, the Father must definitely have come. This is the sacrificial fire of the knowledge of Shiv. So Brahmins are definitely needed. Where did Brahma come from? Brahma is adopted, and then when children are born, they are created through his lotus lips. First of all, give everyone the father's introduction. Acha, to the sweetest, beloved, long lost, and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, BapDada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste and good morning to the spiritual father. Essence for the dharana. First point, wake up early in the morning and instill the firm habit of remembering the father with a lot of love. Wake up at least 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. Second point, have true love for the unlimited Father. Follow Srimad and claim your full inheritance. Blessing. May you constantly experience entertainment with the company of the companion by having a combined form. Explanation. When you feel lonely, do not remember the point form at that time. That would be difficult and you would become bored. At that time, become aware of your entertaining and playful experiences. Remember a list of things of your self-respect and attainment. Do not just remember Baba with your head, but stay combined with your heart with the companion form and experience the sweetness of love of all relationships. This is Manmanabhav, and to be Manmanabhav is to have a form of entertainment. Slogan. Continue to say Ji Hazir means present, my Lord, according to the Father Srimad, and you will receive the right of all powers. Om Shanti